Om Gurave Namah. Namaskar, friends. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Uh, this is a new presentation, and it is on one of the state elections which has recently been held in India. This is the state of Tamil Nadu in the south of India, and we have had elections which happened on 23rd of April, and the results are supposed to be announced tomorrow. I'm recording this on the night of 3rd May. The results are going to be announced tomorrow. So by tomorrow, end of day, we should know who will win this election. As of now, I don't know who will win this election. I'm going to try and predict it using this chart. Now, why there are actually four or five state elections which have happened. Uh, there are some very interesting ones like Bengal, very fiercely contested. But I chose specifically Tamil Nadu because this one has really confounded even poll pundits, right? Usually, even in like many states and even in Tamil Nadu, there would be bipolar contests, right? There are two parties. There's a party in power. There's an opposition party, very well known, and they would, many times, like in most other states of India, these parties would alternate every 5 years. This has been the case in Tamil Nadu for many decades, except in recent past where there has been some changes. But it's largely been these two parties, DMK and AIADMK, which have been fighting against each other for over 5 6 decades. Each have their own alliances. They are not a single. They're fighting as an alliance. So DMK has its alliance and AIADMK has its alliance. But this time, what has happened is a new entrant has come into the elections, which is a new party known as TVK, which is founded and led by cine superstar Vijay, Thalapathi Vijay. So now he has drawn massive popularity, and this has confounded that what is going to happen. There is almost everyone agrees that there is a very strong anti-incumbency in Tamil Nadu against the DMK, which has been in power for the last 5 years in the state. But because TVK has come in, people are not sure whether that anti-incumbency will benefit AIDMK, which is the traditional opposition party for decades, or TVK, which is a new party by Vijay. And well, because of this thing, because of the opposition being split, whether this will favor the DMK and get it back into power. So the situation is wide open. Any of the options is possible. DMK can come into power, AIDMK can also come into power, and TVKs can come into power. And this is what is reflected by many of the pollsters who have conducted exit polls and even opinion polls. Some favor the DMK, some favor the AIDMK, and some even favor the TVK, and which is unprecedented because for a new party to enter into a large state, not maybe small city states, etc., like Delhi, but rather a large state like Tamil Nadu, and creating a splash from beginning. This has not happened in decades in India. I mean, last it would have happened during the time of MGR again in Tamil Nadu, or during the time of NTR in Andhra Pradesh, then United Andhra Pradesh. So this is an unprecedented situation, and so posters may do their exit polls. What do we Jyotishis do? Right? We analyze charts. Now, which chart to analyze? That is a question. Ideally, I would have loved to see the formation chart or foundation chart of Tamil Nadu state, but I really don't have it. I know that Tamil Nadu was formed on the November 1st, 1956, when the States Reorganization Act was enacted and passed, and several states across India came into being at that time. But I don't know the exact time, so we can't really have a chart for that. And so I was discussing with my very good friend. I can't share or reveal his name for privacy sake. Maybe if he's okay in future, I may bring him on to my channel and we can have a discussion on this maybe after the poll. That's up to him. But I was discussing with him, and I put forward this question to him: who will win in Tamil Nadu? And I asked him to put a Prashna, and he put a Prashna chart for this. He casted a Prashna for the moment, and I'm using this Prashna chart, which is casted by him, to answer this question. He is a genuine astrologer, uh, well read, very learned, and very capable. And he has done a lot of sadhana and mantra siddhi and all that. And definitely, this is reflected by the Prashna chart, which is quite valid to answer this question. So let's look at this chart. What do we have here? We have Karka Lagna. I have presented all the three kinds of charts for you. We have Karka or Lagna or Cancer Lagna with the Lord Moon, Lagnesha Moon in the 4th house in Libra. And then we have a Graha Malika Yoga, or a series of planets in consecutive signs from the 8th house Aquarius with Rahu in it, continuously right up to Jupiter in Gemini, in that is Mithuna Rashi. There's no Kala Amrita or Kala Sarpa Yoga because Moon is out of it. Now, another thing I notice is the 10th house looks quite strong with Sun and Mercury over here. And in these kinds of charts where you have to analyze elections, 10th house is important because it shows the throne or the party in power, which is sitting on the throne. So in this case, that would be the DMK led alliance, right? DMK, Congress, and TVK, sorry, VCK, CPI, CPIM, etc. Now, what would indicate the challengers? That is AIADMK and TVK. These are the opponents of the party in power. So opponents are seen from the 6th house. So 6th from the 10th is the 3rd house. So if we see the 3rd house, which is the sign Virgo, with no planets in it. But Virgo, in our tradition, we consider it to have two lords. Okay, one is Mercury and other is Rahu. This is the Mula Trikona of Rahu, and this is the Swakshetra, exaltation, as well as Mula Trikona of Mercury. Depends on the degrees and all that. Now, that is very interesting that there are two lords, because we also know there are two challengers. So this Prashna chart is reflecting the situation very correctly, that there are two challenges. One is AIADMK and one is TVK. Now question is, which is which? Because unless we know which party is reflected by which planet, we can't really understand what is going to happen to them in this election. Now, how do we understand that? My thinking is that, you see, let's look at the symbol. The symbol of AIADMK is a very famous symbol, very well known in Tamil Nadu, which is the two leaves symbol. Okay, it's like two leaves branching out from a branch in green color. So that would indicate to me that Mercury is the planet which is indicating this, because you see, one natural color associated with Mercury is green, and also we can associate plants and all that with Mercury. Mercury is Prithvi Tattva, then plants grow in that. So I would say Mercury is indicated by this two-leaf symbol, and hence it is indicating AIADMK alliance over here. So which obviously means that Rahu should be TVK. But is there any way we can be sure about it? We can justify why Rahu would indicate TVK. Okay, let's again look at their symbol. The symbol is the whistle, right? Whistle is an instrument which produces sound. And Rahu here is in own sign. Rahu is a planet which belongs to Vayu Tattva. It's a windy planet. And when such a planet, when a planet is in its own sign, it is reflecting its element. In this case, the wind element or Vayu Tattva. And whistle is a sound, wind-based instrument, right? You blow a whistle, and he in fact, his slogan is to whistle podo, blow the whistle, right? And also he's a cine superstar, so Venus must support him. And here you can see that Venus is in Kendra to Rahu. It is supporting Rahu, while Mercury and Venus are not quite supportive. So it's not. So it is indicating that the people with a lot of following, who are very crazy about films and crazy about especially Vijay, they are going to support Vijay and not really AIADMK, because Mercury is in 12th from Venus over here. So it's sort of quite this sort of justifies that Mercury is AIADMK and Rahu is DMK. And anyway, we know that the 10th house is with Aries and Mars, the lord of it is indicating DMK itself, right? Which is the party in power. Now, question is who is strong over here? Who is going to win? The 10th house per se is quite strong. Third house is having no planets. Okay, that naturally gives the strength to the 10th house because yes, Mercury is gone to the 10th house. So it's like here is AIADMK, which is naturally wanting to come into power, right? This Mercury is however combust, but then it is conjoined Sun, which is in a very strong yoga in itself. It is the second lord in 10th house, forming one what we call Simhasana yoga, which is being enthroned itself. And Sun is also the planet of power. So all this gives strength to Mercury, right? But we can't discount the fact that this yoga is happening in the 10th house, which is favoring the incumbent. And that is what complicates. If let's say Mercury was somewhere else, I would have been quite clear, oh yeah, AIADMK doesn't have a chance, DMK is having it. But because Mercury is gone over there, that is creating this confusion. Who is strong over here, right? The lord of this Mars is in the 9th house is Saturn, which is a kind of a Raj Yoga, right? Because you have the 7th lord in 9th house, the 10th lord in 9th house, both of which indicate very strong yoga. But it's what kind of yoga are we talking over here? Aspected by Rahu also, it is a very malefic yoga, but it is a very strong yoga. And whom is it favoring? It is favoring DMK, the party in power, because Mars is the lord of the 10th house. Now, ultimately in a democracy, the people decide who will win. And how do we see people in this chart? The people would be the 5th house. 5th house is normally we say is the house, the house of children, right? Subjects, children basically, children or students. And for generally in our traditional way, the subjects or the people are considered as the children of the king, all right? So here the 5th house is indicative of the people, okay, the population, and whom will they support will be indicative of who could win. Now here the 5th lord happens to be, it's the sign of Scorpio. Again, we have two lords. We have Ketu as one lord and we have Mars as one lord. Okay, should we take only one of them? But just like we considered two challengers, we can consider there are two broad different sorts of people who are supporting, right? Mars is one kind of people and Ketu is another kind of people. Now you can notice that the 5th house and 10th house are both lorded by Mars. So automatically DMK, which is Mars, is having an edge over here, right? Another thing, by the way, why Mars would be DMK? You see, Mars is joined Saturn, which would be a dark color, black color, and if you see generally DMK, they wear black color kind of clothes. So that's another reason I would say this is indicative of DMK. Anyhow, so Mars is lord of both the 5th house and the 10th house. Automatically it is having support of that Mars kind of people. Okay. Mars can be indicative of technical people, very logical people, or even aggressive or angry people. We don't know. Okay. The other lord is Ketu, which has 5th lord in 2nd house, is kind of giving a Dhana Yoga, but then Ketu can't really give a Dhana Yoga. So I think it's more of maybe connections and that kind of thing. Now Ketu is not really supporting DMK over here, because one is Mars and Ketu are in 6-8 relationship. Ketu, what it is really supporting is Mercury. Ketu will not support Rahu also. It's again not having any connection. Ketu is really supporting Mercury. Now Mercury, which is, when I'm saying Mercury over here, I mean AIADMK alliance. Mercury is getting a support of both Mars and Ketu. So it is having, why Mars? Because Mercury is in the sign of Mars. So, here I mean Mars as the 5th lord. So the Mars kind of people, it is having connection with, maybe not as strong connection as DMK, but definitely a connection. This could be, okay, I can say also that this could be, you see, in Tamil Nadu, what we call Dravidian politics. In fact, ADMK and DMK, the D over there stands for Dravidian, right? These are Dravidian movement based parties. And there is a certain Dravidian ideology. The keystones of that is too much rationalism, right? Anti faith, anti God, atheistic sort of thing. This is the ideology, not necessarily what is being professed by them in reality today, but this is the so called ideology, right? And that's where, when, especially the DMK is very much against Sanatana Dharma and all these things, and it likes to interfere in the Hindu religious rituals of temples, etc. And we've had a lot of controversies around it. And Mars is directly indicative of that. DMK is the thing. Mercury is having connection with Mars, so it is also related to the Dravidian thing, but it is more softer. So ADMK is not that much, too much anti Sanatana Dharma, anti this thing, because they are allied with, in fact, BJP, which is completely pro Sanatana Dharma and all these kind of things. So, and you can notice also that Mars is in the sign 9th house. 9th house is the house of faith and all that. So there are, Mars is indicative of the Dravidian style of politics, those people who subscribe to that. Okay, and this Mars is quite strong as 10th lord and 5th lord in the 9th house. They are very strong. But then there is the Ketu set of people, which is more like, Ketu is about faith, in fact. Ketu is having, and it's like having blind bhakti kind of thing, that way. So there are other set of people who are having a lot of faith in maybe gods, and Ketu is the 9th lord over here, and maybe even nationalistic ideology, that kind of thing, different kind of ideology. So there are that kind of people. So AIDMK is drawing sort of support from both. Okay. Now, what is Rahu drawing support from? That is also interesting. Rahu is having a yoga with Mars. Do notice that. And the connection between Rahu and Mars is also Saturn. Rahu is in Aquarius, Saturn is also a co-lord of Aquarius, and Saturn is going to Mars. So, again, there is a bit of the Dravidian ideology, that kind of thing. And Rahu is indicating, linking to the 9th house of different religions. So, there are minority religions like Christians and all that who are also supporting this TVK, that is Vijay's party, because Vijay himself is a Christian. So that aspect is also there over here, right? The Ketu sort of people are not really having any truck with Rahu though. That is with TVK. So what do we see? I have only in the last 5 minutes complicated and confused the picture for you, and that's the reality over here. It is a very confusing picture. It's not a very easy chart. I've seen a similar Prashna chart for Bengal, and it's much more clear for me. And I believe that BJP is going to win in Bengal, but here it's not very easy. I may have my own preferences whom I want to win, but that need not necessarily happen basis this chart. So coming back to it, if we talk of strength of yogas, then clearly 10th house is stronger. That is, the incumbent is stronger. Mars is strong. 10th house itself is having strong yogas. Maybe Mercury going over there is contributing to the incumbent in a way. But Mercury is also drawing strength. So I can't, even if let's say AIADMK were to lose this election, I can't see it losing a lot. This is my say. It will still retain a lot of strength. Okay. But overall, on the whole, I will give the edge to DMK. Okay, that's what I see over here. Rahu, which is TVK, I will not really. I don't agree with those pollsters who say that TVK is going to come in power, or it is even going to win phenomenal amount of seats. I don't think so, because Rahu is having popular support, especially that Mars and Saturn, that is indicating a certain kind of support. But look at its position; it is in the 8th house. It is strong in its own sign, meaning There's a great deal of popularity and he will definitely win a lot of voter share. But I don't think that will translate into a huge number of seats. Like, I won't say it will translate to say more than 15 or 20 seats. I don't think so. Okay, definitely 15 or 20% voter share could be there, or even more than that, but not that many seats. There are some pollsters who are given even 80 to 100 seats for TVK. I don't think that is going to happen. On the other hand, what I see is a pretty close fight between AIDMK and DMK, and DMK has an edge. I must admit that. Okay, DMK does seem to have an edge over here. Uh, Mercury is combust, though not necessarily we have to take combustion that seriously here, because it's conjoined a very strong graha and that is giving it strength. By the way, who is this sun over here which is giving strength to Mercury? I think this is BJP. This is BJP, because BJP generally is indicated to me. If I look at Indian charts, elections, and all these things, sun is indicative of BJP because of Sri Ram. Sri Ram is Surya avatar, Suryavanshi. Because of Kamal, the lotus symbol, lotus blooms when the sun rises, as Vajpayee ji said. The famous lines after the 1984 debacle, when they won just two seats, when it was all darkness, what did he say? Andhera chatega, Suraj niklega, Kamal khilega. Meaning the darkness will go away, the sun will rise, the sun will shine, and the lotus will bloom. Okay, so while I may wish lotus blooms, but uh, lotus is definitely giving a lot of strength to this Mercury. However, I must say that DMK does have an edge, though it will be pretty close fight. Let's see who wins. This is my submission. I would give an edge to DMK on this, though with AIDMK not too far behind. Let's see what tomorrow will show. This is probably the first time I'm predicting a political thing, and yeah, I must say I'm still learning, but it's quite interesting. And I maybe have taken too tough a chart on my hands. Maybe it would have been easy to make a presentation on Bengal where I'm much more sure. But I like this chart, and there's so much to talk about. It's rather more interesting to talk about so many things and discuss, even if I go wrong. Yeah. Thank you so much for your patience, and I hope this has been an interesting thing for you to go through. And let's see what happens tomorrow. Please share your comments. And if anyone has Vijay's chart, please do share with me. I'm quite curious to know, is there any link with Rahu and Aquarius to his Lagna or any important point in his chart? Thank you so much. See you in future again.